Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Marco Ross here. Today we're going to tie the balanced leech. This has been an awesome fly for me. It fishes really well for steelhead underneath an indicator, but it's also a really good lake fly. I used to fish it out west in lakes for trout, but it will also work really well for bass, bluegill, all that. Just change the size of your hook. So you can see right now we're using, this is a size 4 jig hook with an up eye there, and they have this really cool bead. It's called an Insta-Jig that we sell at the fly shop. And if you guys have ever tied balance leeches before with the nail, this makes it a lot simpler to do it, and you still get the same effect where you have the balance leech hanging basically at a 90 degree like that. So it makes things a lot simpler, especially for me being on the water guiding. I need to whip out flies really quickly, so this helps out with that function. So we're going to start with the hook in there, and we're going to use a black 100 GSP thread. We'll start our thread. And I like to use just the nub so it saves a step on cutting. And we're just gonna cover up our thread or our hook shank. And we're gonna take just a black marabou, and we're gonna use the very tip of that marabou. So we're gonna lengthen it up. And what I like to do is about the hook shank, so we'll match that up. It's about perfect right there. And we'll wrap that on. So once we do a few wraps, we're going to take the end, cut it, and then we'll cover up all that. So just like you're doing a woolly bugger. And with this fly, with me fishing it right now for steelhead in the springtime, we have a lot of off-color water. So I like to add flash to it. That's up to you if you want to add it. For me, what's working well is this copper holographic flash. I like to be pretty sparse with it, so I just add a couple strands. So usually 1 to 2 strands of it. And the way I tie this in is I want one on the left side and then one on the right side of the pattern. And so we'll tie it in from the middle. Have it secured there. We're going to grab the other end and then wrap it in on the other side. Grab it. And then what I like to do is you have your marabou there. I like to cut it a little bit longer than what the marabou is, just so it hangs back and gives a nice accent to the fly. I think it really pops in some of your off-color water. So the next step is we're going to tie in our dubbing. We're going to do a dubbing loop. So we grab our thread, match it over, and with this, I like to have a loop that's approximately 5 to 6 inches. We're going to tie back on it. And then we're going to wrap all the way up towards the eye of the hook, and we have our loop hanging out here. We're going to use my patented dubbing loop tool. Have that hang out there. And then what I like to use for this balanced leech, it's a Senyo's Fusion Dub in Midnight. What I like about it has some longer fibers to it, and with some added angel hair and some flash in it. So we'll grab it, about a pinch like that. And then we're going to break up the fibers by just matching them all up. So we'll match them all up together. Perfect. And once they're matched up, we're going to open up our loop, put it inside the loop, and then we're going to spread it out. And a big thing is when you're putting this on there is not to have clumps. If you have clumps, it's going to make a clumpy sort of fly. So you're going to spread it out. I like to use scissors or a bodkin if you have one, and spread it out a little bit just to make sure it's nice and even. I'll take it, these are longer fibers, so if there's anything that's sticking out too long, do a little trim right now. And then you can kind of see how the loop will look. And then we're going to take the bottom of the dubbing spinner and spin it up. Spin that up and get those fibers on there. And then I'll take the scissors and just pick that out. When you do this, there's always going to be a lot of trapped fibers, so it's good to take either, you know, the points of your scissors or ideally a bodkin and just pick it out. And get all those fibers just laying out nicely. So now that we have that, we're going to treat this just like we're going to wrap a hackle on a woolly bugger. So you're going to take it and just wrap it up. And all the way up, you're going to do touching wraps, basically all the way up. And what I'll do is spin it upside down if you have a rotary vise. And then we're going to wrap it this way. And you're going to see we might have a little bit of extra material here, but that's all good because we can just tie it off anyways. But we want to make it super tight up against that bead. And a big thing with that Insta-Jig sort of bead is that you have the teardrop facing down, just to make sure you get the appropriate effect that you're looking for with this fly. So once I have it wrapped up there, we're going to tie off that material, cut it. Cut your dubbing loop off, wrap off in front of it, and then do your whip finish. And then that's how you have your fly right there. So super fishy fly. I mean, about as close as you get to an actual leech. Really good for steelhead, good for trout, fishing underneath an indicator, you know, and then on lakes as well, you know, for bluegill, bass, all that. It's a super fishy fly. One of my favorite leech patterns you can tie.